Hello, today we are talking about quality function deployment. And these are the team members. So what is total quality management? TQM is an approach to long-term success through customer satisfaction that emphasizes quality in all aspects of an organization's business. And it is important that the global industry continues to meet and/or exceed customer expectations.
Quality function deployment was developed in Japan in 1960 and involves identifying and ranking the relative importance of the customer requirements, identifying design parameters that contribute to customer requirements, estimating the relationship between design parameters and customer requirements and between different design parameters, and setting target values for the design parameters to best meet customer requirements.
In the article, quality function deployment more than a design tool, we get three different classification. The first is the group studies by the industries or setting. The second one is separated studies by the context. And the third one is based on whether QFD was used in design and development or improvement activities.
About house of quality. According to the article, an application of quality function deployment to improve the quality of teaching, a QFD matrix or house of quality is often used to help the decision makers make the design decisions. The term house of quality is often used in the context of quality function deployment, but this initial matrix itself does not represent a full implementation. House of quality is a critical element in the quality function deployment process because it captures the voice of the customer and provides the path for the direction of further effort.
The QFD was created to make a detailed quantitative analysis easier, as well as the numerous strategic thrusts and initiatives at ANT address of individual items taking into account criteria.
According to one of the articles, there are 4 steps to create and develop the house of quality. First, we have to identify customer needs and determine their level of importance. Second, we have to identify the technical requirements and determine the context. Third, develop target values for technical requirements and identify technical difficulties. And last, calculating importance ratings completes the basement of the house where importance ratings are recorded.
This is the relationship between the customer and QFD, and customers increasingly expect realistic, durable products and services in the shortest possible time. Implementation steps. We could summarize the steps of building a quality home in 7, and they are determine what the customer wants, conduct a competitive assessment, determine the key focus, develop methods to measure or control the product, process or design, house against the customer's requirements and what's, evaluate the design trade-offs and determine the key design requirements that should be focused on.
About the traditional approach, in the article Quality Function Deployment, more than design tool, it was described that QFD is most often applied in the early stages of design to translate the voice of the customer into design requirements. House of quality generates design requirements. The design are translated into part characteristics, which are then used to determine the most appropriate manufacturing process to produce the new product. The traditional approach limits the applications of QFD to design and development. However, QFD has a potential to be used in improving existing products or services.
We have a lot of different advantages of the QFD technique. The first one, it helped in making trade-off. It shortened the time to market. It enhanced teamwork among engineers in departments, and increased customer satisfaction, and improved effective communication.
The disadvantage of the technique are difficulty in adapting to changing demand, limited focus, customer-focused risks. Technique requires the right organizational environment and the voice of the customer.
About the popularity of this technique, it has been adopted by several industries that have proven the effectiveness and contribution of using it.
By reading the 5 articles, you can identify some areas where KFD technique can be applied, like education, construction industry, design, a business, and KFD and its extensions. About education, according to the article, application of quality function deployment to improve the quality of teaching, students have the most interaction with the educational system, such they are the integral part of education process. Therefore, it's very important for university to understand, meet, or even exceed the expectations of the students. In order to meet or exceed their expectations, the university must improve quality of teaching so that students can achieve their education goals. Although the study was successful, although the study successfully demonstrates how the KFD technique can be used in identifying teaching methods and techniques and evaluating their effectiveness, the achieving in education goals, the authors cannot claim that to have found the most effective teaching methods.
In the construction industry, there are some good examples that shows the effectiveness of KFD. Like, for example, Delgado Hernandez in 2007 used this technique to identify and analyze customer requirements to compare an existing daycare center to new construction. Also, there was Kiziltas, Dickman, and Bergnull in 2005 that applied the KFD method to a minor renovation of a computer workspace, first identifying customer needs and prioritizing them by importance to the customer, where were then compared to a computer workspace and outlets for each assigned. Then they use this technique as a strategic decision-making tool in the construction of a high-rise project.
KFD was introduced as a design tool in Japan, and the philosophy of continuous improvement embedded in Japanese culture and had an influence on its adoption. Looking at the context, the introduction of KFDs in the manufacturing service industries presents a slightly different picture. While KFD in manufacturing is mainly used in design and development, the difference between the different applications of KFD and the service sector is not so great. On the other hand, there are some examples that promote the use of KFD in improvement activities, but there is no comprehensive research that focuses on establishing KFD as a process and quality improvement tool. Management requirements included reducing costs, improving quality, standardizing engineering functions, and increasing through output mapped to configuration, drawing, product development instruction, material standards, and design standards.
The application of QFD in e-business implies for the most to listen to the customer voice. A successful implementation would enable the e-business in the creation of the competitive advantage. Where failing in implementation or embracing e-business may spell the end of the business in near future having been overtaken by competitors.
In the article Quality Function Deployment and its Extensions, the 5 most used extensions in the literature are ANSP and KFD, Fuzzy KFD, Dynamic KFD, and other extensions.
With the understanding of the material taught during the classes and also by reading the selected articles, we were able to understand the various ways in which we can apply the KFD technique in totally different areas, but that in the end will only bring benefits to them.